This video shows how the Zunia student information system manages fees management and can make it visible to all finance staff. So let's start by looking at the finance configuration. So I've come to finance settings. I'm choosing the year 10 fee code and it has an annual amount of $12,000. So schools can then set their run type, whether it be annual or term. And then down the bottom, it shows you that this will be applied to students who are in year 10. So it's really simple and easy to set up these individual fee codes. Now I search on sibling and select rates. So the rates can then be set, and they can be set as either a fixed amount or a percentage. And I've chosen to keep it as a percentage here. And then I can fill in all of the other key parameters, the run type, etc. Apply all of the individual rules to this sibling discount. And then once I'm happy with all of my selections, all I have to do is click save. So when the child is in the third position in the family, then they will get this 30% discount. And when I come back into the debtor fees, so I'm still on year 10, $8,000 charge, I can now associate the general ledger codes to the fee codes here. So you can see I've got the general ledger code 4-1010, and then when I click on that, I can associate the fee code with that individual one there. When I come back here, I can also review all previous years. So I've got 2023, 2024, 2025. And I can then come in and I can edit 2025 if I want to. But having those previous years means that I can also review the previous amounts, which may be different and associated with the same GL code. Now, coming into 2025, I can adjust the weighting. So I can set this to 50% for the code 4-1010 and 50% to a different GL code, which allows schools and systems to do very complex accounting from within Zunia. So once I've got it all configured, now I can start doing student billing, invoices, and credits. So I've come to the student profile and I've chosen two students, Callista and Ray. I've selected billing under Callista, and now I can see that mum is paying 60%, Dad 40%. So their debtor accounts have been added to this individual student. And there is a billing adjustment. So instead of paying $12,000 a year, they have a $1,000 discount, which means that Callista's parents are paying $11,000 per year. So now we can look at her brother Ray. Again, I'm coming to billing and I can see that Dad is paying 60%, Mum 40%, and there has been a 10% discount added to Ray's billing. Now, it can be a percentage or it can be an amount. It's completely up to the school. And when I scroll to the bottom, I can see that Ray is in second position. So that means that Ray will receive that family discount for the second child when the billing run is done. And all of that is done from under profiles and billing. Now we come to invoices. So I can add an invoice. I can select the fee schedule, select the debtor. Here, it's going to be Mr. and Mrs. Boyle. Select the template, so it's term, and then select the fee codes. And you can add multiple fee codes here. And then if I need to, I can override the amount. I don't need to go anywhere else in the system, so I can change that. And then I need to set the due date, when it's got to be paid by. So I'm setting that there. I can review the subtotal and the total. And then I can click save. And this system has been integrated with Xero, but any other finance systems can be integrated. It's that simple and easy to create an invoice. So now I want to create a credit note. So I select add credit note, choose the debtor ledger, fee schedule, determine the debtor, which is Mr. and Mrs. Boyle. Select the issue date, fee codes here, or the debtor fee codes, and I'm going to give them a credit note of $1,000. and I can see that there, and I can add a comment here, so a note attached to it. So the next time an invoice is created, that $1,000 credit will be credited to that individual invoice there. So Zunia also makes it really easy to delete any invoices or credit notes. So if it's been unpaid, it's not been paid, then all you do is click delete. It doesn't impact the system at all. However, if there is a partial payment, all the school has to do is issue a credit note, which I've just shown you how to do. So Zunia handles all of this as the standard accounting flow. So we've shown you how to create individual invoices, but most of the time schools want to do it in bulk. And running a bulk billing run is really simple. So first of all, I need to select bulk student billing, add the billing run, and then choose the date, the debtor ledger, fee schedule, issue date, due date, then select the run type, whether it's annual or term, select the template and so on. And then if I don't select any of the year levels, they'll all be selected, or in this instance, I'm selecting years 8, 9 and 10, and then filling in any variations or exclusions. So once I'm happy with all of my selections here, I click add billing run, and instantly you can see you get this status button showing that it's in progress, and I'll get a notification when it's completed. So now it's ready to be previewed. So when I click on it, I can see that I can view a report, export to Excel, and then click on view report, and instantly I can see the total and I can review if there are any warnings, and there are for Jacqueline Abbott. And then I can click through page by page to check each student and verify that it is correct. And then once I've done that, I can, and I'm happy with it, I can now approve it, and they're all ready to be sent out. So here are examples of one that have been approved. And now I can see all of the invoices and credit notes that have been sent out. And you can see here that I can download them as PDF, also export them as CSV, but I want to take all of those parents and I want to send them in one simple click. I want to send all of these invoices out to the parents, and I do that via email. So I can have all those emails set up and those templates set up and send it out very, very easily. Zunia also manages double entry accounting practices, and it does it really well. So this time I'm going to be looking at Fees Primary Campus, and I'm coming into the system and I'm adding a invoice here. Adding the fee schedule, selecting the parents, Mr. Addison, and the invoice template, and the due date, and then the fee, the debtor fee. And I've got a $5,000 charge here with some tax, and then I click save. And this particular finance entity is integrated with MyOp. So simple and easy to create the invoice, and then I can see that $5,000, it has not yet been paid. Now, if I come into MyOb and come and look under invoices and then scroll down, I can see the Addison invoice has automatically been created. And when I click on it, I can see all the details that have been added. But the key part is what's happening under the hood without a personal human intervention. So I'm searching on this invoice, and now I can see where the double entry accounting comes in. There was a debit of $5,000, of which $4,545 has gone to GL code 1-1110 operating bank account, and $454 has gone to the GST receivable count. And this is done automatically within the system. And finally, the consumption tax. So the system allows schools to add the tax amounts for the country, region or state. So I'm creating a VAT tax and I'm setting it at 20%. And then all I have to do is click save. When I come to the GST, I can then edit this if I want to. So there it is. I can change the amount, let's say, to 12% and then click save and add any other consumption tax rate for any other country, state or region. And the next part is I want to set the currency, and this is set to the dollar, but if I'm using the VAT, I'm going to set it to the pound, and then I click save. And now my final task is I need to go into the debtor fee code, select them one by one, and then go to the GL ledger that's associated with that fee code. And instead of being GST, I now need to change that to VAT. And then I need to work my way through each of those one by one and change it to VAT in the system and click save. It's a very, very quick process to do that. And then finally, what does that look like in an invoice? So I've come into 2025, Mr. and Mrs. Copland, adding the debtor fee here. So I'm going to give it a tuition fee amount of 8,000 here, 8,000. It's adding the VAT of 20%, and all of the currency is changed to British pounds. It's got the VAT in there. When I click save, that will send it off to 0. So hopefully that's a quick overview of how fees management is managed in the Zunia student information system.